Mizmoshir Yom HaShabbat Tov lehodot l'Adonai Mizmoshir Yom HaShabbat Tov lehodot l'Adonai Uzamer l'shimcha elyon Uzamer l'shimcha elyon להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. Shabbat Shalom to you all. We begin our service on page 117. Page 117. And when you're ready, and if you want to, you can rise. Through this service, I'm not going to tell you to stand, sit, or do whatever. Please just do your thing. Hope you know the service well enough. You can do whatever you want to do. And equally, if you are moved to stand when other people are sitting, don't worry, and vice versa. Ma tohu, ma tohu, ma tohu halecha Yaakov, Mishnotecha Yisrael. Mishnotecha Yisrael, v'hani berov chastecha, ahavo v'heitecha, ehtachave, el hechot kodshecha, be'yiratecha, el hechot kodshecha, be'yiratecha. Adonai ahavti me'om beitecha u'mekom mishkan kevodecha v'hani eshtachave be'evrecha lifnei Adonai osi. V'hani tefilati lecha Adonai et ratzon Elohim berov chastecha aneni behemet Continue together. We thank you, O God, for this new day, for morning sun and evening star, for flowering of tree and flowing of tide, for life-giving rains and cooling breezes, for the changing seasons, for the cycle of growth and decay, of life and death. We awake and behold a new day. O God, renew us unto life. Teach us to recognize your presence in creation. Grateful for your gifts, may we dedicate all our powers to your service. And we begin by saying the opening part of each of the prayers in Hebrew, which is Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, which means we're all on a level playing field. And then we'll say the rest of the blessing in English. And at the end, we'll do one Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, and then I'm going to just leave it up to you to add the words either out loud or just quietly that you would like to say, in thanking God for this new day. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, for eyes to see. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, for clothes to wear. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, for the joy of freedom. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, for the power to rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, for providing for all our needs. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, for daily renewing our strength. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, for the blessing of sleep and the privilege of waking to a new day. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Together we continue. Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam. Baruch hu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam. Hamehulal b'fi amo. Meshubach umfo'ah bilshon chasidav v'avadav. Bishvachot uvizmirot. Negadeh lecha v'namlichecha. Malkeinu yachid chei ha'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai melech muhulal batishbachot. We continue. With the coming of day and night I will enter the covenant of God. And when evening and morning depart, I will recite God's decrees. God Most High, you are my righteousness. You teach me goodness. You are the fountain of knowledge, the dwelling place of holiness, and the summit of glory. Eternal might and majesty are yours. I will choose whatever you teach me, gladly accepting your judgments. As soon as I move my hands and feet, I will praise your name. When I go out and when I come in, when I lie down and when I rise up, when I rest on my bed, I will sing your praise, and in the company of my friends, I will praise you with the words of my mouth. Mismoshir Yom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Mismoshir Yom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Ulzamer l'shimcha elyon, ulzamer l'shimcha elyon. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, Tov lehodot l'Adonai. It is good to give thanks to the Eternal One, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to tell of your love in the morning and your faithfulness in the night, to the sound of lute and harp and to the music of the lyre. Your deeds fill me with gladness, your work moves me to song. How great are your works, eternal God, how very deep your thoughts. The righteous shall flourish like the palm, grow tall like the cedar of Lebanon. Planted in the house of the Eternal One, they shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall still bear fruit in old age. They shall ever be fresh and green, proclaiming that God is just, my rock in whom there is no flaw. Mizmor shir liyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Mizmor shir liyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai. And on the foot of page 121 together. Yishtabach shimcha la'ad malkeinu, ha'el ha'melech ha'gadol v'ha'kadosh b'shamayim u'va'aretz. Ki lecha na'er Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Aboteinu, she u'shvacha, halel v'zimra, brachot v'hodaot, me'ata ve'ad olam. Baruch atah Adonai, aboche b'shirei zimra. on page 135. Praise the one to whom our praise is due. We continue. We praise you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe, Maker of light and Creator of darkness, Author of peace and Creator of all things. In your mercy you give light to the earth and all who live on it, and in your goodness you renew creation continually, day by day. How manifold are your works, O God! With wisdom have you made them all. The world is full of your creations. Your handiwork proclaims your praise. The radiant stars bear witness to your glory. We praise you, O God, Creator of lights. Ahava rabba habtanu Adonai Eloheinu. Chemla gdola v'teira chamalta aleinu. Avinu malkeinu. Ba'avor avotenu shabatachu v'cha. Vat lamdeim chukei chayim, kein techonenu to lamdeinu. V'tein b'libeinu lahavinu lahaskil, lishmoa lilmod ulalmeid, lishmoa v'la'asot ulkayim et kol divrei toratecha be'achava, v'ha'er enenu b'toratecha, v'dabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha, v'yached levavenu le'achava u'liyira et shemecha. Kivanu vrachata liyechedecha ba'achava, Baruch ata Adonai, abocher ba'amo Yisrael be'achava. Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Baruch Shem kavod malchuto leolam va'ed. Baruch Shem kavod malchuto leolam va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levavecha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol mo'odecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi metzavacha hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta ba, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, u'v'lechtecha v'derech, u'v'shochbacha u'v'kumecha, u'kshautam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot beineinecha, k'tavtam al mezuzot beitecha, v'sharecha. L'mahan tizkeruhu, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'hitem kadoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Emet v'yatzi v'yashav v'kayam v'tov v'yafeh hadavar hazeh aleinu le'olam va'ed. Emes she'ata hu Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu. Malkeinu melech avotenu. Yotzreinu tzor Yeshuatenu. Hodenu matzilenu me'olam hu shemecha. Ein Elohim zulatecha. Emet ata hu rishon. Va'ata hu acharon. Umibaladecha ein lanu Moshiach. Mimitzrayim ga'altanu Adonai Eloheinu, umibeit avadim peditanu. Moshe uMiriam uvnei Yisrael, lecha anu shira b'simcha rabba, va'amru chulam. Mi chamocha balim Adonai, mi kamocha neda b'kodesh, nora zechilot osefele. שירה חדשה שיבחו גאולים, לשבחה על שפת הים. יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלא לעולם ועד. זו ישראל ומה בעזרת ישראל, גואלנו אדוני צבאות. תפתח ופיך כי תחילתך. אדוני שפתי תפתח ופיך כי תחילתך. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth shall declare your praise. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth shall declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanura, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Imachot, U'mevii Geula livnei v'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo be'achava, Melech Chozer u'Mashiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, L'chayei meitim atah Rav l'Hoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morit hageshem, Mazriach hashemesh u'morit hatah. Mechalkel chayim b'chesed, mechayeh meitim b'rachamim rabim. Zomech noflim rofeh cholim umatir asurim umekayem emunato l'shenei hava. Mi chamocha be'al gevurot umido melach melech memit umachayeh umatzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman atah lahachayot meitim, Baruch atah Adonai, מחיי המתים. נקדש את שמך בעולם, בשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאיך. קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו, כבודו מלא עולם. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומך, מלכנו תופיע, ותמלוך עלינו, כי מחכים אנחנו לך. ימלוך אדוני עולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. From generation to generation we will make known your greatness. To the end of time we will proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O our God, shall never depart from our lips. We praise you, Eternal One, the Holy God. Yismachu b'malchutecha, Yismachu b'malchutecha, Shomerei Shabbat, v'korei honeg, Amkadshei Shvi'i, Amkadshei Shvi'i, Kulam Yisbehu, V'yitanugu mituveha, V'hashivihi ratzita bo, V'kidashto, V'hashivihi ratzita bo, V'kidashto, Chemdat Yamim Oto Karata Zeche Lemase Vereshit. We continue, our God and God of our ancestors. May our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Sanctify us by your commandments, and make us loyal to your teaching. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Eternal One, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts, and may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of the Sabbath. Eternal God, be gracious to your people, Israel, and in your love accept their prayers. May our worship now and always be acceptable in your sight. We praise you, O God, whom alone we worship in reverence. Modi manachnu lach, shatahu Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, leolam va'ed. Tzur chayenu magen yishenu, atahu ledor vador. Nodeh lecha unesaper techilatecha, al chayenu hamasurim biadecha. Va'al nishmotenu habakodot lach, va'al nisecha shebachol yom imanu, va'al niflotecha v'tovotecha, shebachol eitz erev vavoke v'tzochorai. Baruch atah Adonai, atol shimcha, ulahana lechodon. Sim shalom, sim shalom. Sim shalom, tova uveracha, ein v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ha'amecha. Sim shalom, sim shalom. Grant peace, welfare, and blessing, grace, love, and mercy to us and to all Israel, your people. As a loving parent, bless us with the light of your presence. By the light of your presence, eternal God, you have revealed to us the law of life, a love of kindness and righteousness, blessing and mercy, life and peace. For it is good in your sight that your people Israel and all peoples be blessed at all times with your gift of peace. We praise you, O God, the source of peace. To page 480 for our Torah survey. There is none like you, Eternal One, among the gods people worship, and there are no deeds like yours. Your sovereignty is everlasting. Your reign endures from age to age. Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kamasecha. Malchutecha malchut, kol olamim u'meshatecha v'chol v'chol. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch, le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz le'amo yitzeh, Adonai yevarech et amo b'shalom. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Gadlu Adonai and Aroma Shemo Yakdal. Let us magnify the Eternal One. Together, let us exalt God's name. V'hagvura v'hatiferet v'haneh netzach v'chachod, ki hol b'hashamayim, u'ba'aretz, lecha Adonai hamamlecha, v'hamid naseh lecha lerosh.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach.
Baruch Adonai hamavorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Elohim melech haolam, asher bacha banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Last week we had a wonderful intrusion into the rather boring lists. First of the instructions to make the tabernacle and everything that's to go inside it, and all of Aaron the high priest's clothes and for that of the priests. The interruption was Moses having this most incredible personal kind of relationship with God on Mount Sinai, and down below utter chaos and mayhem as the people create, well, a golden calf or something like this. We're back to some of the boring lists, but I've tried to pick out a portion which is of some interest to us today, especially as it is Shabbat Shekalim. A little bit more about Shabbat Shekalim in a few moments. As always, a few questions for you. If you have Chumashim, I'm reading, I think, from page 669. Page 669. If you have a different kind of Chumash, it's Exodus chapter 35, verse 30 on. Please feel free to correct my Hebrew as ever. Vayomer Moshe el b'nei Yisrael. And Moses said to the children of Israel. It's absolutely fantastic. I was up in the Cheder earlier, and amazing to say to all of the Bar Mitzvah kids and to the Kabbalat Torah kids, I said, what have you learnt of Torah? And most of them started, Vayomer or Vayodaber Adonai el Moshe le'emor. Absolutely fantastic. So we've got a very standard opening. Moses, here we've done God speaking to Moses. Now Moses is speaking to the Israelites to instruct them. Re'u, see. The word re'u appears every now and then for the Israelites as a command. Normally it might be behold or think or the word to do with command. Here, re'u. Any thoughts on why re'u when we're talking about the tabernacle and everything to go in it? Why re'u? See. Normally it's speak. Normally say, nor hear, or something like that. But re'u, see.
Special clothes that they wear.
Quite possibly. And Dennis, about the special clothing, maybe. See the clothing, although they haven't quite made it yet. This is about them just about starting to make them, but no, could be the clothing. Pardon me? Sing, okay. Well, sing, see. Well, it's see rather than sing necessarily. It's quite specific in this, Ru. What do you think they're meant to see? Tabernacle, possibly, although it's not quite built yet. And again, we're meant to be. It's an interesting word. It's slightly odd, and it seems a bit out of place here. The only thing I can think of is that these passages are really physical. They're very tangible. This is all about making things, stuff. It's not about necessarily ethical behaviour, although I'm going to draw something out from it, but as I would do as a rabbi. But it's all about real things, real stuff. So perhaps it literally is see
see what's around you. And we have had the instruction already that the Israelites should bring various different objects to help with the making of the tabernacle and all the things which will go into it. So, see, Re'u, Kara Adonai B'Shem, Betzalel ben Uri ben Hur lemate Yehuda. God has called out by name, singled out, and it's a very odd phrase. It doesn't happen elsewhere in the Torah here, but singled out this bloke, Betzalel, ben, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah. Who is Hur? Deadly silence. Who is Hur? Very important man, Hur. Except he disappears. Do you know who Hur is? No? So it starts. Hur is one of the leaders of the Israelites in the early days, coming out of Egypt and into the early days of the Sinai adventures. And we heard about him earlier on. We've got this amazing picture, I think it's downstairs on the thumb, of Moses with his hands up, being held up either side. He sat on the rock bit so that they can defeat the Amalekites. And who's on either side? It's Aaron and Hur. Okay, it's part of this leadership thing. Joshua's down below doing the fighting against the Amalekites. But it's Hur and Aaron who are holding up his hands. Hur comes into this a few more times, and then he disappears. And the Midrash goes that in the building of the golden calf episode, the people first went to Hur and said, build us an idol, make us an idol. And Hur tried to argue against them. And what did they do? They bumped him off. They murdered him. They go, we want this thing, this whole zealous group. So by the time they get to Aaron, Aaron just says, yep, okay, just bring your golden rings and all these kinds of things. It's a bit of an apologetic for Aaron, which I like. But something about Hur. So this is one of the sons of, so he's got pedigree, this Betzalel. But Betzalel becomes known. Pretty much every art school in Israel is called the Betzalel College. He's the only person we really know about who is the real artist, except for a chap we're going to mention in a few moments' time. So single out him, Betzalel, from the tribe of Judah, the biggest tribe, the boldest tribe. That makes sense. V'yemalei oto ruach Elohim, and fill him up with the Spirit of God. Okay, when you go to Israel and you want to go to get a full tank of petrol, you say, Malei bavakasha, fill me up, please. Here is Betzalel being filled up, not with petrol, but with God's Spirit. B'chochma vitvuna uvada'at, with, and I leave the translation to you, it's very difficult to really know what to do. Normally it's wisdom, chochma, from the Yiddish, who's a chochem, a wise person. Chochma, wisdom, bina, understanding, and da'at, knowledge. But how you interpret that is very difficult. You can come to my Parashat HaShavua class next Friday at midday to 1:30 and do a lot more study around that and what it means. So if you really want to. Otherwise, you could make it... How's it translated, Karen? You've got a... skill, ability, and knowledge, okay? Very much reflecting the physical characteristic of what's going on perhaps here. The skill and ability that's going into it. So it's not so, it's translated not so much as an intellectual thing, perhaps, but more to do as an artisan's, as a design kind of point of view, perhaps. I'm not sure. But you can come up to me afterwards and give me your three definitions of, or translations that you think for those three wonderful words. V'chol malacha, in all manners of kinds of work. Chashov machshov vet, la'asot bezachav u'vechesed u'nechoshet. And for all kinds of works, and especially in the kinds of designs, inspiring designs to make things out of gold, silver, and copper. The word for designs, or which normally translated as designs, is the word which normally is translated as thoughts. So everything's within his thoughts. So he had in his head somehow the ability. So some of us have the ability to see things. I walk into a house when Tammy takes me there and says, yes, we could do all of this and we could do all of that. I don't see it. Can't see it. I just can't visualize that kind of thing. Other people, like Tammy, are able to visualize things. And perhaps Bezalel had the ability, the skill and ability, to visualize how everything would work out. Somebody yesterday in our group used a beautiful analogy of, yes, Beethoven's fifth concerto, was it? Or thank you very much indeed. You can tell I'm not into classical music. And said, this was brought to mind when he thought of all of the incredible things put into the tabernacle. And just was marveling at how on earth was Beethoven able to carry all of these incredible lines in his head and put it all down on paper and think how it was going to work. This incredible, amazing ability to do that with music. And people, of course, have that when they start with a blank canvas and can imagine how it's going to start off. When you go close to something, you have to, have to draw back, but an artist is drawing it close up. Perhaps it's something of this which is Bezalel is imbued with. V'chareshet even lema'alot v'chareshet eitz, and the ability to carve stone and wood, la'asot b'chol melechet machshavot, and to be able to make all of the special designs into workings. Ulachorot natan belibo, and hu ve'Oholiav ben Achisamach lemate Dan. Here we have the second person, Oholiav ben Achisamach. Now, if you ask yourself why weren't any art schools mentioned or named after Oholiav, I think it's a bit of a mouthful, partly. But it's also a raw deal for Oholiav and all of the people of Dan. Why the tribe of Dan here? Judah is, in a sense, the highest of the tribes of Israel. It's the one that won, okay, and is the most dominant. And that's through whom history is written. So Judah is mentioned over and over. Dan is the lowest. Dan is right up in the north of Israel, going into Lebanon area, and was understood to be one of the weakest of the tribes. So it's quite interesting here that we've got the weakest, the strongest and the weakest perhaps represented and bracketing this work. And it says very clearly that it's him and Bezalel. So it's the two of them on the same level. The two of them, v'lahorot natan b'lilbo, should give instructions. They should be the people not only to build and make, but they should be able to instruct others, to teach others how to do all of this kinds of work. Malay otam chachmat lev la'asot kol melechet charesh v'chashov v'rekam b'tachelet v'argaman v'tola'at shani hashani uv'shesh v'oreg aseh chol melechet malacha. And they are filled with all of this skill and ability, and to instruct other people how to do all of this fine work of carving, of designing, of weaving, yarns of blue, purple, crimson, fine yarns and goat's hairs, to make all of the accoutrement for the tabernacle. Chashvei machshavot v'asa Bezalel v'Oholiav v'chol ish hacham lev asher natan Adonai hokma utvuna behema leda'at la'asot et kol melechet avodat hakodesh l'chol asher tziva Adonai vayikra Moshe el Bezalel ve'el Oholiav ve'el kol ish hacham lev asher natan Adonai hokma belibo kol asher nas'u libo l'korva el hamlacha la'asot ota. And they should be instructed to follow all of God's instructions and commandments, all of those who are filled up with God's Spirit, all of those who are full to the brim with all of these special abilities. Vayikuhu miflei Moshe et kol hatruma asher heviu b'nei Yisrael l'mamlechet avodat hakodesh la'asot ota. and they should go and take from all the stores of all of the gifts that the Israelites have bought them, and they shall come and make all of the holy works. V'hem hevi'u elav od nadva boker baboker. All of those things which, because all of the people have bought loads of gifts every morning, every day to the tabernacle. V'yavo'u kol hachachamim ha'osim et kol malacha hakodesh ish melachto asher hema osim. And they have bought everything that was needed to make all of these things, every person who was so moved. Vayomru el Moshe lemor. And so the people who are skilled and tasked with building the tabernacle came to Moses and said, Marabim ha'am lehevi madai ha'avodah limlacha asher tiva Adonai la'asot otah. They have bought way too much. We got enough now. That's any more, and we're not going to know what to do with it. Vayitzav Moshe, and so Moses commanded, Vayaviru kol b'machaneh, and sent out his voice and called out, proclaimed amongst all of the camp, Lemor, Ish ve'isha al yas'u od melacha l'trumat hakodesh. No one should now further bring, no man or woman should bring any more stuff for the making of the holy works. V'yakaleh ha'am mehevi, and the people ceased from bringing in their gifts. V'hamlacha ha'ita dayam l'chol hamlacha la'asot ota v'hoter, because there had already was more than enough of the materials to make the tabernacle and everything that would go inside it.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'hayei olam natan batochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Please rise. This is the heaviest one, I'm afraid. Baruch shenatan Torah lehamo Yisrael b'kadush arto. And just in case, please to be seated, just so you know as well, our holy workings in the building, some were donated, as some of the silverware was, some created specifically for the Sifrei Torah. The Torah mantles were made by members of our community who got together to embroider them. And I just want to bring attention, sorry for one moment, just hold this up for a second.
Sorry.
The sash was made by Alan Lewis. Alan Lewis was my dentist. And was endowed and filled with God's Spirit, endowed with special skill and ability to, as you would think, to move with metal. So if you think about it, braces and all those kind of stuff. So actually the sash was a system put together by the ingenuity of Alan Lewis. There we go, something not everybody knew in the congregation. Our Haftarah today is from the books of Kings. It is traditional for this Shabbat, the first in 5 leading up to Pesach, and this one deals is called Shabbat Shekalim, literally about a shekel. I'll leave you to tell the story.
So, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar b'v'im tovim, v'ratzah devreihem, hanei emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai, he-osher b'torah, haboher b'torah, u'moshe avdo, uv Israel amo, u'vinvieh ha'amet v'asedek.
Amen.
In the 7th year of Jehu, Joash began to reign, and he reigned 40 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Zebiah of Beersheba. And Joash did what was right in the eyes of the Lord all his days. because Joiada the priest instructed him. Nevertheless, the high places were not taken away. The people continued to sacrifice and make offerings on the high places. Joash said to the priests, "All the money of the holy things that is brought into the house of the Lord, the money for which each man is assessed, the money from the assessment of persons, and the money that a man's heart prompts him to bring into the house of the Lord, let the priests take, each from his donor, and let them repair the house wherever any need of repairs is discovered." But by the 23rd year of King Joash, the priests had made no repairs on the house. Therefore, King Joash summoned Joiada the priest and the other priests and said to them, "Why are you not repairing the house? Now therefore take no more money from your donors, but hand it over for the repair of the house." So the priests agreed that they should take no more money from the people and that they should not repair the house.
Then Jehoiada the priest took a chest and bored a hole in the lid of it and set it beside the altar on the right side as one entered the house of the Lord. And the priests who guarded the threshold put in it all the money that was brought into the house of the Lord. And whenever they saw there was much money in the chest, the king's secretary and the high priest came up, and they bagged and counted the money that was found in the house of the Lord. Then they would give the money that was weighed out into the hands of the workmen who had the oversight of the house of the Lord. And they paid it out to the carpenters and the builders who worked on the house of the Lord, and to the masons and the stone cutters, as well as to buy timber and quarried stone for making repairs on the house of the Lord, and for any outlay for the repairs of the house. But there were not made for the house of the Lord basins of silver, snuffers, bowls, trumpets, or any vessels of gold or silver from the money that was brought into the house of the Lord. For that was given to the workmen who were repairing the house of the Lord with it. And they did not ask for an accounting from the men into whose hand they had delivered the money to pay out to the workmen, for they dealt honestly. The money from the guilt offerings and the money from the sin offerings was not brought into the house of the Lord. It belonged to the priests. At that time, Hazael, king of Syria, went up and fought against Gath and took it. But when Hazael set his face to go up against Jerusalem, Jehoash, king of Judah, took all the sacred gifts that Jehoshaphat and Jehoram and Ahaziah his fathers, the king of Judah, had dedicated, and his own sacred gifts, and all the gold that was found in the treasuries of the house of the Lord and of the king's house. And he sent these to Hazael, king of Syria. Then Hazael went away from Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, zur kol haolamim, sadik bekol hadorot, ha'el haneamim, hameir v'oser, hamediber umakayim, shekol devarav emet v'tzedek, al haTorah v'al ha'avadah, v'al hanavaim, v'al yom ha'shabbat hazer, shenatatan lanu Adonai Eloheinu, likdusha v'limnucha, lechavot uletiferet. Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu modim lach, umvrachim otach, yitbarach shimcha, befi kol hai tamid, leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, mikadesh haShabbat.
Amen. Well, thank you both.
That's okay.
Please rise. When you've got a portion like that, you know you need to get good readers. Thank you very much indeed for doing amazing things with lists. I can tell that any building work on your home is going to be truly blessed. Well, at least we know that you'll pay honestly. On page 484, we join together. Eternal God, whose dominion embraces the universe, we ask your blessing for our sovereign Lady Queen Elizabeth and all the royal family, for those who govern our country and all who influence the quality of its national life. Make them conscious of their responsibility and teach them to exercise it in accordance with your will. May we all help to fashion in this country a society that excels in freedom and justice, tolerance and compassion, that it may be a force of righteousness and peace in the life of humanity. What will be absolutely fascinating is to know exactly what God's will is at the moment, that the government are meant to put into practice, but hey-ho, we may never know that. Eternal God, as you blessed our ancestors in generations past, bless now this congregation, its leaders and its members and all who enter this synagogue to meet, to study and to pray. Comfort the sorrowing hearts among us and heal those in anxiety or pain. May we all find here community and friendship, renewal of purpose and hope, a deeper understanding of our heritage and a sense of your abiding presence. Bless all congregations of the House of Israel throughout the world, that those who live under oppressive rule soon be freed, and may we all unite to witness to your truth and do your will. Together, eternal God, our rock and redeemer, grant blessing to the state of Israel, created to fulfill an age-old dream and to be a haven for the oppressed. Inspire its leaders and citizens with faithfulness to the aims of its founders, to develop the land for the benefit of all its inhabitants, and to implement the prophetic ideals of liberty and justice. May they live in harmony with one another and in peace with their neighbours, and cause to come true once more the ancient vision, that out of Zion shall go forth Torah and the word of God from Jerusalem. Yehallelu et Shem Adonai, ki niskav shemo levado. Odo aleret v'shamayim v'yaren keren le'amo t'nilah l'chol chasida l'ifnei Yisrael amaro. Good doctrine has been given us. Do not forsake it. It is a tree of life to those who hold it fast, and all who cling to it find happiness. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Kadesh Yameinu Kekelem Kadesh Yameinu Kekelem. Please be seated.
When you take a census of Israelite men, according to their enrolment in the army, each shall pay the eternal a ransom for himself on being enrolled, that no plague may come upon them through their being enrolled. This is what I learnt this week from a Baptist minister. It's called Wealth for Health. And apparently there are many evangelical and Pentecostal churches who practice wealth for health today, bringing along and paying something that no plague may come upon them before when they're enrolled. But the Torah portion continues. This is what everyone is entered in the records shall pay, a half shekel by the sanctuary weight, 20 gerahs to the shekel, at least in those days. a half shekel was to be offered to the Eternal. The rich shall not pay more, and the poor shall not pay less than half a shekel, when giving the Eternal's offering as expiation for your persons. Leaving behind the currency and exchange rate of the ancient world, because this day is meant to be a Shabbat, a day of rest, and while some may enjoy number games, this rabbi defines it as falling into the category of work. This passage from last week's Sidra suggests that we and most biblical commentators across time have noted as being a regressive tax. How can it be fair for the rich and the poor to pay the same flat rate? This is countered by some, for example, Nachmanides Ramban, who said the rich shall not pay more meant they shall not legally have to pay more, but should be generous. And the poor should pay if they can afford it. Naturally, this leaves all open for interpretation of the individual, unless one is declaring one's income. And we all know that that kind of process often costs more than it is eventually intended to bring in. The Torah, though, addressed itself to a fairly simple, as yet non-urbanized society, in which the extremes of great wealth and abject poverty had not yet taken hold. It aimed to state the principle of equality before God, fixing a relatively small sum to demonstrate it in practice. Perhaps this is what Ibn Ezra meant when he suggested that the flat rate system was appropriate, for it was described as, in a sense, a ransom for the soul, and all souls are equal before God. So no distinction is to be made between rich and poor, poor and rich. This donation was literally one of generosity of spirit. It is somewhat hard to believe the report of the artisans engaged in the construction of the Mishkan, the tabernacle, in our parashah, that the people are bringing more than is needed for the tasks entailed in the work that the Eternal has commanded to be done. Depicted is such religious fervour and zeal, and it is easy to think that everyone was caught up in this. But the instruction in Exodus is, let everybody whose heart so moves them shall bring donations. And that, of course, gives plenty of wriggle room for the miserly. I believe that Shabbat Shekalim is the Jewish Red Nose Day comic or sports relief. The altruist, the philanthropist, and the benevolent of any means, for those who live with poverty, can be the most unsparing in generosity, and the wealthiest the most selfish, and all points in between. Need no reminder towards tzedakah. For these people, the generous, it is a vital aspect of their being. They are generous of soul or spirit. Rather, Shabbat Shekalim is a nudge to all of us who intend to give but do not quite get round to it, and in particular as a reminder that nothing is free. Whilst our attention might be grabbed to give to obvious and extreme causes, in particular where we are particularly touched through our life experience, we should also consider the fabric of our society, our community, and in particular voluntary, charitable, including religious infrastructure, the unfashionable causes, which are nevertheless vital to our community. For example, a King Jehoash making arrangements to fund repairs to a 140-year-old Jerusalem temple that perhaps the people had taken for granted and was a bit tired. It is realistic that the Torah speaks of all of those whose heart is so moved. For we know those who are selfish, egotistical, and will never be moved. Shabbat Shekalim appeals to all those of heart, soul, and spirit. It tries to be a nudge towards conscience May we always give generously, according to our means, but never think of ourselves as being generous. May we give because we care for those in need, and so that justice may be done. May we give quietly and joyfully, because it is our duty and our privilege, happy in the knowledge that to give to God's children is to do God's will. Amen. No appeal, you notice. No appeal. It's just a nudge. We turn to page 519, for our concluding prayers. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen va'amen. Baruch Adonai Elohim Elohei Yisrael, osei niflaot levado. Baruch Shem kavodo le'olam, v'yimalech kavodo et kol haaretz. Amen va'amen. And together, the eternal God shall rule over all the earth. On that day, the eternal God shall be one, and known to be one. May your love, O God, rest upon us as we rest our hope in you. All the nations that you have made shall come and bow down before you, and honor your name. Let God be praised by day. Let God be praised by night. Let God be praised when we lie down. Let God be praised when we rise up. Avinu Shebashamayim, our God in heaven. Let your unity be acknowledged and your sovereignty established forever. Reign over us now and always. Adonai Melech Adonai Malach Adonai Imloch Leholam Vaed. We turn to page 524 for Kaddish. On this Shabbat, we recall the yahrzeits in our community of Alan Heyman, the father of Sue Frace, of Bertram Jacobs, founder, member, life president, and I remember him as fantastic pike fisherman, of Daphne Isaacs, the mother of Pat, and mother-in-law of Simon, of Jill Rickaisen, the mother of Ben, of Hilda Rita Charles, the mother of Jackie Parkinson, Jack Gross, the father of John, Jean Freeman, the mother of Ruth Kent, Leela Mann, the mother of Peter, Leon Ganelin, the father of Marion Francis, Philip Jacobs, the father of Olivia, and grandfather to Lily and Freddie Biber, Ralph Asserson, the father of Ros Austin, Sybil Levenberg, the mother of Sandra Harris. We're saddened by the death this week of our member Eleanor Stanton, the wife of Mel and mother of Suzanne. Zichronam livracha. May the memories of those we have mentioned and all those we think of in our hearts and our minds remain with us as a blessing and an influence for good. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei decho Beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Ehei shemei Rabbah mavarach le'olam u'lalmei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ah v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadah v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudisha b'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Hei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'yal kol b'nei adam, v'imru amen. May great peace descend from heaven, and abundant life be granted to us, to all Israel, to all peoples, to all those who mourn. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated. few moments, we'll conclude back where we started on page 120. Just to say, if you struggled slightly with your Hebrew in this service, you're welcome to come and improve it or learn from scratch. Next Shabbat, when we have our Hebrew crash course weekend, we have a bumper crop, I think nearly 20 people coming together to study over the weekend. People from different areas of the country and different liberal Judaism communities coming to share it with us. And I can promise you the food is absolutely magnificent as well. It's a bit like studying in a kibbutz kind of environment all together, living together through a full Shabbat and weekend. It really is a great environment. Even if you don't want to learn Hebrew, you can come and eat and just join us. It's good fun. We've got a new adult learning program. It's very interesting. Looking out on our congregation, we're an eclectic bunch from many different backgrounds. Some of us are generations old liberal Jews. Some have just stumbled upon it because, well, they love this synagogue. We have an opportunity to learn a little bit about the history and some of the key characters of liberal Judaism over the coming weeks as we look at the three M's who are thought of as the founders of our movement, Montague, Montefiore and Mattocks, and also two very significant but more recent leaders of liberal Judaism, Rabbi John Rayner and Rabbi Sidney Brichto. So please do join us. We've got a number of speakers coming in who are experts in those areas and those people as well. So please do join us for that. And very, 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 very importantly, in 2 weeks' time, we have Cantor Tamara's induction service on a Friday night at 6:30. And then on the Saturday evening, the cantorial concert bringing together other musicians and cantors from the progressive movements to come and support Tamara. They will be amazing opportunities to come and celebrate with Cantor Tamara and us as a community. So please do try and come along to those. If you can't, then watch. I can't say press the red button or something, but you can watch those live stream, and I'm sure they'll be after the event as well. Enough already. Thank you for sharing this Shabbat. There was just a lovely atmosphere and a peaceful atmosphere this morning. It's just so lovely to have mornings such as this. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. וזמר לשמך העליון, וזמר לשמך העליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. Please rise. Psalm for the Sabbath day. It is good to give thanks to the Eternal One, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High. Adonai yishmor tzeitecha v'oecha me'ata ve'ed olam. May the Eternal One guard our coming in and our going out, now and always. Amen. Shabbat shalom to you all.